Part 81. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 801. Yunjiang is located on the border. The trees are thick and lush, and the mountains are endless, which is extremely spectacular. At this moment, Su Yang stood next to the helicopter and used his spiritual consciousness to explore the surroundings. As for Zhang Hongao and Lu Hui, they stood respectfully behind Su Yang. Palace Master, Zhang Hongao asked, there are many mountains and forests in Yunjiang, and there are many hiding places. How about I call some people over and start a carpet search? If there is any problem, we will go there and we will surely catch Long Ping Shen. It's really difficult to detect. I can't find Long Ping Shen's whereabouts even if I use my consciousness. But it's not because of the dense mountains and dense forests, it's because he has a special way to hide his aura. Su Yang shook his head and said, however, your suggestion is inappropriate. It will only increase casualties. I already have a countermeasure. Zhang Hongao, you can stay here. Just let Lu Hui come in with me, Su Yang said. Yes. Lu Hui respectfully agreed. Instead of feeling any fear, he was very excited. He didn't expect that the master would name him to follow. It was a great honor. However, Zhang Hongao, who was next to him, said in surprise, Palace Master, are you telling the contrary? Didn't I follow you and let Lu Hui stay here? No. Su Yang said calmly, I'm not that confused yet. I naturally have my own reasons for this arrangement. Well, I'll wait here for the Palace Master's triumphant return. Zhang Hongao did not ask the reason, but said with awe in his hands. Su Yang nodded lightly, then led Lu Hui, one after another, deep into the mountains of Yunjiang. After about a few minutes, Su Yang stopped, looked back at Lu Hui, and said, Lu Hui, I need you to do me a favor. This may make you embarrassed, but I can't help it. Only in this way can we draw out Long Ping Shen's. Master, you can tell me what you need me to do. I am willing to go through fire and water for the sake of the Palace Master, no matter what. Lu Hui clasped his fists and said respectfully, with the Master's order, even if there are mountains of swords, seas of fire, and 18 levels of hell, I will rush over without hesitation, without even frowning. It's not as serious as you said. Su Yang smiled and said, that Long Ping Shen hid his aura. His technique was really unusual. I couldn't detect it. But at the same time, he can't detect my aura. I can also hide it. And all you need to do is pretend to be a cross-dressing boss and pretend to be looking for old medicine in the mountains. Su Yang continued, you are now in the Shenzone realm. You don't need to deliberately hide your strength. Just pretend to be an outstanding female disciple of the section. If the evil cultivator senses your aura, it will definitely come out to find you. But don't worry, I will hide in the dark the whole time. When your life is in danger, I will come out to save you as soon as possible. Su Yang said, to put it simply, you are the bait. I want to use you to lure out the evil cultivators. The boss of women's clothing. When Lu Hui heard this, he immediately said with a grimace, Master, can you try another method? Didn't you just say that you would go through fire and water without hesitation? You also said that you dared to forget to go through the 18 levels of hell, including mountains of swords and seas of fire. Su Yang glanced at Lu Hui. But this is different. Yes. Swish, swish, swish. It's actually fine. Although Lu Hui was a little reluctant, he still did as Su Yang said, put on women's clothing, and instantly became a women's clothing boss. As long as he dares to show up, today will be the day of his death. My sister's revenge must be avenged. After Lu Hui heard Su Yang's words, he finally gritted his teeth and said, okay, Master, I will fight for you. After receiving the permission, Su Yang did not hesitate and immediately used the disguise technique. Keep your voice down. Not bad. It doesn't matter if he doesn't bend down. This bend directly exposes a large area of scenery. At this time, Lu Hui changed from a rough man in his 30s and 40s to a delicate and beautiful 20-year-old beauty. When I kill the evil cultivator and avenge my sister, I will thank you very much. Palace Master. Su Yang made up his mind and then said, Lu Hui, I will hide it first. You can go slowly by yourself. I will protect you secretly. After leaving a few words, Su Yang disappeared without a trace in the propaganda. Even cultivators in the realm of transcending tribulation may not be able to detect his aura. Su Yang reassured, Lu Hui, don't worry, I promise not to tell anyone else. Lu Hui said with a grieved face, it's so embarrassing for a man to dress up as a woman and wear women's clothes. If this reaches Wang Sai's ears, he will laugh at me forever. Lu Hui touched it, then breathed a sigh of relief and said, huh, that's good, I don't want to be a woman, it's more comfortable to be a man. Yes, master, I will pay attention. Lu Hui bent down and clasped his fists, responding respectfully. After more than 10 seconds, Lu Hui's appearance changed drastically. Su Yang said, then he took out a set of women's clothes from the storage ring and said, change into it quickly, I'll help you keep an eye on it. The Adam's apple has also disappeared, and the skin has become white and tender. Most importantly, the special parts of a woman's upper body are not bad at all, and they can even be compared to human breasts. That's okay, Lu Hui gritted his teeth and agreed. Pay attention to your gender. Now that you are a beauty, a top beauty, you have to be gentler. Can you be pretentious? Su Yang reminded. Su Yang reminded, if you don't completely transform into a woman, how can you seduce that evil cultivator? He is not a fool. Su Yang nodded, but was still a little dissatisfied, and said, your figure is not bad, but your face is too masculine, and you have a stubble and Adam's apple. The front is not protruding enough, and you are not feminine. Lu Hui lowered his head and glanced at the powerful weapon, feeling extremely embarrassed. He was about to tell Su Yang that he must change himself back after it was over, but as soon as he opened his mouth, he realized that his voice had changed, and he suddenly turned pale and said in shock, Palace Master, how come I have a woman's voice? Ah, why is my Adam's apple gone? Lu Hui said carelessly, and with the charming female voice, it looked particularly funny. Let's do this. I'll use the disguise technique to give you a makeover and make you more feminine. If I don't tell you, no one will know. Su Yang was stunned for a moment, then said with satisfaction, the face I pinched out by hand is really amazing. If you ask me to pinch it again, you may not be able to pinch it out. Haha, that long ping shen will definitely do it. Come here if you are hungry. Okay, thank you. A small face can be said to be at the level of bringing disaster to the country and the people, and even has a bit of exotic style. Also, I still keep your lifeline for you, and I haven't cut down the tree. Once the evil cultivator is killed, I will restore you to your original state. Su Yang comforted. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 802. Just like that, Lu Hui, a master of cross-dressing, started wandering around the mountains. According to what Su Yang said, he was looking for old medicine while admiring the beautiful scenery. Deep in this mountain, in the early years, nearby villagers often came to hunt game and collect medicinal materials. However, as the country protects the ecological environment in recent years, villagers have been explicitly prohibited from going up the mountain, and many forest rangers have been deployed. If someone is found to be unruly, they will be fined in mild cases, or even detained in serious cases. If you kill protected animals in large numbers, it is common to be sentenced. But now that something like this happened in Yunjiang Mountain, the ranger packed up and left long ago. Even if there are no forest rangers, the nearby residents don't dare to go up the mountain. There are no people sent by the royal family. If the ordinary people go up the mountain, isn't that asking for death? Therefore, there are indeed some old medicines in this mountain, but most of them are not precious, and they are not very useful for practitioners. But Lu Hui wandered outside for a long time, and Long Ping never jumped out. Su Yang, who had been following in the dark, became a little anxious, so he sent a voice message and said, "Lu Hui, can you sing? Sing a song louder and see if you can draw him out." Ah, this. Lu Hui was completely like a woman, and said in a soft voice, "Master, I don't sing well, and I only know a few words." "It's okay, just sing." Su Yang comforted him. "After you lost your Adam's apple, your voice was sweet with a hint of charm. It doesn't matter if you sing hard, your voice is beautiful." "That's okay." Lu Hui finally nodded, gritted his teeth and said, "Master, in order to avenge the heroine god of war, I will risk my life." "Thank you." Su Yang was very grateful, and Chuanyan urged, "Then sing quickly, the louder the better." Lu Hui nodded, then cleared his throat, his expression very serious, as if he was brewing emotions. "It's done." Seeing this, Su Yang immediately felt relieved and secretly smiled. Looking at Lu Hui's behavior, you can tell that he was humble just now and must be good at singing. With this serious expression, if you say he is a professional singer, I believe. Come on, be happy. Anyway, you have a lot of time. Just when Su Yang was convinced from the bottom of his heart that Lu Hui could sing, Lu Hui suddenly spoke. As soon as he spoke, Su Yang fell silent, his face instantly darkened, and a string of colons flashed above his head. "What the hell? Be happy, uncle. Come on, love, there is a lot of folly anyway." Lu Hui was still singing, with an intoxicated expression on his face as he sang, seeming to be enjoying himself very much. "Come on, let's wander. Anyway, there are many directions. Come on, let's be pretentious. Anyway, there is a lot of scenery." While listening to the song, Su Yang looked at Lu Hui's face that looked like he needed a beating, and almost couldn't help but rush out and beat him up. Fortunately, after singing to great success, Lu Hui stopped singing. Damn, it finally stopped. Su Yang breathed a sigh of relief, but before his ears could calm down, Lu Hui started again. "Come on, be happy. Anyway, you have a lot of time. Come on, love, there is a lot of folly anyway. Come." Lu Hui was about to continue singing when Su Yang suddenly heard from his soul, "Come here, uncle, just sing it once." "Why did you go back to singing?" "I can't sing the rest, so I can only sing this part over and over again," Lu Hui said excitedly. "This part is the one I mastered skillfully, but the climax part, master, what do you think? I can sing well." "Fart." Su Yang said with a dark face, "What kind of song is this? It's so sultry, my scalp feels numb when I listen to it." "Master, this song is called Itchy. It's not irritating. I think it's pretty good," Lu Hui defended. "Itch." Su Yang said, "Well, listening to the lyrics, it does make me feel itchy, but you are such a big man, is it appropriate to sing this song?" "Master, you have forgotten that I am a charming girl now," Lu Hui said softly. Fuck. Su Yang said with a dark face, "I almost forgot about this, so don't sing it again, and change it to another one. I can't look directly at this song." "All right." Lu Hui agreed, and then cleared his throat again. With a professional singer's posture in place, he sang impassionedly, "The river flows eastward, and the stars in the sky join the Baidu." "Stop." Su Yang interrupted directly and complained, "What the hell kind of song is this? I asked you to pretend to be a gentle and charming woman to seduce the evil cultivator and make him have thoughts about you and want to have fun with you. But what kind of song are you singing? The stars in the sky are joining the Baidu." If the evil cultivator heard it, why wouldn't he come out and pull your head in front of you and worship you, and become brothers with different surnames? Su Yang said with a dark face, hurry up and change it to another one for me. Wait, what other songs do you have? Su Yang was wary and asked specifically, fearing that Lu Hui would stifle another bomb. Not anymore. Lu Hui shook his head and smiled bitterly, Master, I usually don't like listening to music. Arjiman Black Market has many rules. In addition to watching the scene, we are practicing, so we don't have time to listen to music. Since the hero song is not appropriate, why don't I sing it instead? I feel that when I sing this song, it is quite charming. If I were a man, I would marry myself. After Lu Hui finished speaking, he realized something was wrong with him and hurriedly said, no, I am a man. I almost made a mistake about my personality. Okay, then just go ahead and I'll put up with it. Su Yang had no choice but to compromise. Yes. Lu Hui respectfully agreed, and then went to the depths of the mountain forest, singing and twisting his body. His posture, coupled with the sound of sea, was truly a masterpiece. After walking for about half an hour, Lu Hui's voice was almost smoking when he sang, so he sat down on the bluestone by the stream to rest. It was at this moment that Su Yang finally noticed the aura of Xiezai along. The other party was about 10 miles away, and his aura suddenly appeared, as if it appeared out of thin air. God of War, early stage. Su Yang was particularly shocked and thought to himself, this old guy has surpassed Wu Qingying, the first person in ancient martial arts, and stepped into the realm of the god of martial arts. The Long family's yin-yang dragon magic is really so magical that it can actually make people's strength improve by leaps and bounds. He doesn't seem to have the habit of hiding his aura. Why didn't I notice his aura for so long before? Su Yang couldn't help but guess. Long Xiantian said that there is a cave deep in the mountains of Yunjiang. The pool of water in the cave can suppress the side effects of the yin-yang dragon magic. There must be something weird about that cave that can shield the breath. After thinking for a while, Su Yang secretly sent a message to Lu Hui, Lu Hui, that evil cultivator is attracted to you and is moving this way. Don't be afraid. Don't show off. I'm protecting you in secret. Yes, the master is here, so I don't have to worry. I'll just put on a provocative pose and charm him. Lu Hui felt confident, so he actually took off his shoes, lifted up his skirt, put his jade-white feet in the water, and started splashing in the water. While playing in the water, he also laughed like a silver bell. Voice. Beauty playing in the water. She is still a stunning beauty who brings disaster to the country and the people. It has to be said that Lu Hui's performance was so good that Su Yang could only swallow his saliva when he saw it in the dark. It was so tempting. The key is that at this moment, familiar singing sounded again all around. Come on, be happy. Anyway, you have a lot of time. Come on, love, there is a lot of folly anyway. Soon. A tall middle-aged man appeared behind Lu Hui. The man was probably over 1.8 meters tall and burly, with handsome features. He means Long Xingtian's Teju, Long Pingsheng. At this time, Long Pingsheng stared directly at the cross-dressing boss Lu Hui, his eyes flashing, and he couldn't help but swallow 2 mouthfuls of saliva. He didn't deliberately hide his aura, but most people couldn't see his realm. They would only think that he was as deep as the abyss and the sea, unfathomable. Beautiful. So beautiful. Long Pingsheng approached Lu Hui and said excitedly, ha ha ha, I didn't expect to meet 2 extremely beautiful women in this mountain. God is really treating me well. Ah! Lu Hui suddenly realized that there was someone behind him and screamed in fright. Then he stood in the flowing stream, covered his chest with his hands, and said softly, You, who are you, and when did you show up? Ha ha! Long Pingsheng stopped and showed a calm smile, Girl, there is no need to be so panicked. I have no ill intentions. I was just attracted by your singing, so I came to take a look. The girl is really naturally beautiful, and her beauty is heavenly. With this kind of appearance, even if she is placed in the harem, she can crush 3,000 beauties. Like a dog, Long Pingsheng began to flatter you. The girl's singing voice is also outstanding. I have listened to all kinds of music, but no one can compare with you. It is simply the sound of nature. Young master, you've been rewarded. Lu Hui felt disgusted in his heart, but he pretended to be very good. There was a hint of shyness on the surface, and he said delicately, I just grow casually, and my singing skills are average. He didn't lie. His face was indeed made by Su Yang at random. As for the singing, it's not terrible, but it's definitely ugly. The girl is too modest. Long Pingsheng smiled softly and turned to ask, dare you ask me, girl, why are you in the mountains of Yunjiang? Don't you know that it is very dangerous here? People often disappear mysteriously recently. It is said that there is an evil cultivator who eats people and spits out bones. Are not you afraid? Ah! Lu Hui was so frightened that he turned pale as if hearing it for the first time. He said with a trembling voice, I, I'm not a local. I come from a sect in the south. I sneaked out this time behind master's back. When I saw there are old medicines in this big mountain and the scenery is pretty good, so I went deeper. Sir, you didn't lie to me, did you? Are there really the evil cultivators you mentioned here? Lu Hui said with a slight cry, tears almost flowing out, looking very pitiful. However, he secretly sent a message to Su Yang and said fiercely, Master, this guy is simply a beast in clothes, why don't you take action? Don't worry, wait until he relaxes his guard, Su Yang Chuanying replied. Certainly. With Su Yang's current strength, coupled with the Void Tower and the key to the East Mansion, it is not a big problem to wipe out Long's life. However, this will definitely require a lot of effort. But if I wait until Long Shengsheng is unprepared before taking action, and Su Yang uses the key to the East Mansion and the Void Tower at the same time, there is a huge chance that I can kill him with one strike. If it can be done easily, why go to war? It just requires Lu Hui to sacrifice his appearance, but as a man, Lu Hui shouldn't care, right? Girl. At this time, Long Pingsheng began to try his best to seduce Lu Hui again. He smiled softly and said, you don't have to panic. With me here, it is expected that the evil cultivator will not dare to show his face. Really? Lu Hui blinked his eyes, looking pitiful and lustful at the same time. Certainly. Long Pingsheng said seriously, to be honest, I entered the mountain this time just to show off my strength and eliminate evil and kill evil cultivators. The evil cultivator does many evil things and harms innocent people, making people around Yunjiang panic and have no peace. Only by getting rid of him can people's livelihood be stable. Long Pingsheng said righteously, as a powerful ancient warrior, I have the responsibility and obligation to step forward. Pooh! You old man, why are you pretending? I already know you are not a good person. Lu Hui was scornful in his heart, but on the surface he was full of admiration, with little stars in his eyes. Wow, are you also an ancient warrior? You are so awesome. Well, I am. Long Pingsheng showed an elegant smile and said slowly, I have entered the realm of martial master. He underreported 2 realms, for fear of scaring the beautiful girl in front of him. Wuzun. Lu Hui, the cross-dressing boss, was shocked and said in disbelief, you are actually better than my master? Haha, I'm just more talented. Long Pingsheng smiled and said, I have been in the mountains for several days, searching for the whereabouts of the evil cultivator, but unfortunately I couldn't find him. Well, girl, I found a cave a few days ago. Why don't you come with me? I'll prepare some food and entertain you. After all, Meeting is fate. Long Pingsheng invited. Promise him. Su Yang, who was hiding in the dark, heard this and hurriedly said, he wants to trick you into doing bad things. Follow him. When he takes off his clothes, that will be when he is most relaxed. Then I will kill him. What? Lu Hui's voice was full of helplessness. Master, if you want me to do that kind of thing with him, you might as well kill me. This is so disgusting. It's not true. I promise, I will let him die in front of you before he takes off your clothes. Su Yang discussed. Girl, I really don't mean any harm at this moment. Long Xingtian smiled again. I know, but... Lu Hui finally decided to do what Su Yang said, and said, a man and a woman alone are in the same room. It won't sound good, and others will misunderstand it. Haha, girl, you are judging a gentleman's heart with a villain's heart. Long Pingsheng continued, besides, we are not alone. There is another girl in my cave. I heard she is some kind of heroine. She came to Yunjiang Mountain to kill the evil cultivator, but was injured by the evil cultivator. She is recovering from her injuries in my cave. Long Pingsheng smiled and said, so, girl, you have nothing to worry about. Heroine god of war. After hearing these words, Su Yang, who was hiding in the dark, suddenly lit up and showed a rare smile with excitement. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 803. Sister, nothing happened and she is still alive. When Su Yang heard the news, he was extremely excited, but he remained calm on the surface and continued to hide in the dark. Because the hiding place Long Pingsheng mentioned was really weird. Taking his sister as an example, Su Yang couldn't notice anything unusual around him even if he let go of all his concentration, and couldn't sense his sister's aura. Even Long Pingsheng appeared suddenly. From this, it can be seen that there must be a mysterious place nearby that can automatically cover the aura. Therefore, Su Yang should not be in a hurry to avoid alerting the enemy. The best way now is to let Long Pingsheng lead the way to find the cave, saving time and effort. When the time comes, Su Yang will find another opportunity to take action and easily kill him with one blow. Certainly. If Su Yang was given time and allowed to explore the mountains of Yunjiang bit by bit, he would definitely be able to find the cave. It's just that this will waste a lot of time, delay the recovery of spiritual energy, and may change later. Who knows if my sister is in danger now? After thinking about all this, Su Yang was about to send a message to Lu Hui, but Lu Hui came over. Master, that's great. The heroine god of war is still alive. She is not dead. Now you can rest assured. Lu Hui then sent a message, just leave this old pervert to me. I will make him docile. After the message was transmitted, Lu Hui seemed to be jealous, and said dissatisfiedly, Master, you already have another woman in your cave, what's the point of asking me to come over? Girl, the heroine is healing her wounds at my place, and it won't affect the two of us from having a good time drinking and talking. Long Pingsheng stepped forward and comforted him, well, girl, you come with me first. I think the girl's injury is almost healed. When we get there, I will let her leave. What do you think? Lu Hui lowered his head shyly, then said in embarrassment, it's just, sir, isn't this a good idea? Isn't that sister angry? When Long Pingsheng heard this, an imperceptible smile flashed across his lips. Haha, woman. I said before that it was inconvenient for a man and a woman to live together in the same room, but in the end they suggested that I should drive them away. Now I said I wanted to drive the person away, but she became concerned again, talking over tea. What a pity, I have lived in the palace for a long time, and 3,000 beauties can comfort and balance me, let alone just 2 women. Women, it's better to catch them based on their skills. They are comfortable to use. Long Pingsheng was complacent, thinking that his graceful demeanor had attracted the attention of the young lady in front of him. I don't care if she is angry or not, as long as you are not angry. At this moment, Long Pingsheng looked at Lu Hui, made an invitation gesture, and said with an elegant smile, "Girl, please." Lu Hui pretended to be reserved and hesitated for a few seconds, then finally nodded and agreed to go with Long Pingsheng. Along the way, Long Pingsheng was very attentive and took the initiative to communicate with Lu Hui from time to time. He speaks humorously, is tall, handsome, and gentle, and his conversation gives people the feeling of being knowledgeable and knowledgeable. Ultimately, Long Ping always showed off his state and appeared young and promising throughout his life. For such a young man, let alone ordinary little girls, even Lu Hui, a cross-dressing boss, wanted to spend the rest of his life with him for a moment. No way. This man is so outstanding, impeccable in every aspect, he is simply a perfect person. How can any little girl not like him? Certainly. After all, Lu Hui is a man, and he has that kind of thought, but only for a moment. After pretending to be a woman for a while, he almost actually took on the role. Faced with the temptation of Long Pingsheng's handsome man scheme, Lu Hui remained unmoved and stuck to his heart, trying to keep himself straight forever and never bend. The difficulty of this challenge is actually quite big. As for Long Pingsheng's love for Lu Hui, the more he looked at it, the more satisfied he became. He almost couldn't hold it back and killed Lu Hui on the way. He has lived for such a long time and has seen many beauties, but it is rare to see one as stunning as the girl in front of him. Her beauty is truly fresh and refined. Certainly. Long had never encountered this kind of top-notch beauty in his life, but the environment he was in was different, so the feeling in his heart was different. When I was in the palace, I didn't have any kind of woman I wanted, so I didn't know how to cherish the best one. But when he came to Yunjiang Mountain, the women around him were so bad that it was impossible to deal with those he had been in contact with before. Finally, a beautiful lady with heroic appearance came to her a few days ago. Long Pingsheng had been deliberately trying to release his charm, but he never succeeded. By the way, there is one thing that must be mentioned. When it comes to women, Long has always adhered to one principle in his life. He never respects those with average appearance. Only Long Pingsheng will use his masculine charm to conquer truly top-notch women. Because of this, after getting a woman, you will get a strong sense of satisfaction. This was how Long Ping treated Su Jingguo, so he did not kill him, but spared Su Jingguo's life and allowed Su Jingguo to escape with serious injuries. Then, he came out again and pretended to be a master of punishing the strong and eradicating evil. He used the same rhetoric as when he had just talked with Lu Hui, got close to Su Jingguo, and took Su Jingguo to the cave for healing. During this period, Long Pingsheng took care of Su Jingguo's food and drink, and even provided her with medicinal materials, giving Su Jingguo meticulous care. Unfortunately, Su Jingguo always kept her distance from him and her heart was not promised to him. Long had never lacked the blood of a woman in his life, so he wanted to conquer Su Jingguo. The harder it was to conquer, the more sense of accomplishment he would feel after conquering her. Therefore, Long Pingsheng never revealed his true colors, thinking that it wouldn't be long before he could capture Su Jingguo's heart. But at this time, cross-dressing boss Lu Hui entered Long Pingsheng's world. The current Lu Hui is no worse than Su Jingguo in terms of appearance, and is even a little more exotic. The most important thing is that in Long Pingsheng's opinion, the young lady in front of him is easier to seduce than Su Jingguo. So Long Pingsheng planned to give up on Su Jingguo, and later drove her away on the grounds that Su Jingguo had recovered from her injuries. Certainly, it was impossible for Long Pingsheng to really let Su Jingguo go. He just wanted to get rid of the cross-dressing boss and the little lady afterwards, and then catch up with Su Jingguo and kill him. After all, She is a female master in the realm of martial arts, and her blood is still very effective in practicing yin-yang dragon magic. That's all. Long Pingsheng and Lu Hui, a man and a woman, no, to be exact, they were two men. They soon arrived at the entrance of the cave. The place is lush and lush with trees. Looking around with the naked eye, nothing can be found, no buildings, and no caves. Here we are, right here at this time, Long Pingsheng smiled softly. Young master must be joking. There is nothing here. Why did you bring me here? As Lu Hui spoke, he seemed to have thought of something, and hurriedly backed away, covering his chest with fear on his face. Master, you don't want to do anything dirty to me, do you? I'm warning you, I'm not the kind of person who takes it easy. If you dare to use force on me, I'll kill you immediately. Strong temperament. I would rather die than obey. Good girl, good girl. I like such a beauty. Long Pingsheng looked at the little beauty in front of him with admiration, and said quickly, Girl, you misunderstood, my residence is here. You're lying, how can there be a place to live here? Lu Hui curled his lips and said. Haha, it's just a deception. Long Pingsheng smiled and then said, Look, girl, as long as I use some tricks, the entrance to the cave will appear. With that said, Long Pingsheng began to knead the secrets with both hands. After a moment, a hole actually appeared on the flat ground. Looking into the cave entrance from above, one can only see the energy of the stars surging, but not the layout of the cave. This cave is a bit interesting. There is such a powerful protective formation. It must be arranged by a cultivator in the realm of transcending tribulation. No wonder I can't detect it. Su Yang secretly thought in his heart, with my strength, it would be almost impossible to charge forward forcefully. The formation that Tuja has deployed is far beyond what I can contend with. But fortunately, I am proficient in formations and possess the soul of the immortal emperor. If you give me some time, I can crack this formation. The corner of Su Yang's mouth raised and he said, Now that I have been promoted to nascent soul, I can use the power of my soul to be much stronger. I should be able to finish it in 3 to 5 minutes. And I am fully confident that when the formation is cracked, Long Pingsheng in the cave will not be aware of it. Now that the formation has been opened, I can feel my sister's position. She is in the cave, huh? What's going on? Is my sister still practicing Kung Fu? Su Yang's mind moved and he found his sister's location, so he secretly sent a message from his soul, Sister, don't make any sound. I am Su Yang. I am outside the cave at the moment. How are you doing now? You are not being bullied. You only need to recite silently in your heart, and I will receive it. Su Yang, you're here. In the cave, Su Jingguo, who was sitting cross-legged, suddenly opened her eyes, and 2 rays of light shot out of her eyes, looking very excited and happy. But then she thought about her situation, and Su Jingguo said without changing her expression, Brother, what are you doing here? Leave quickly, it's dangerous here. Sister, I'm here to save you, don't worry, I'm strong now, there's no big problem. Su Yang then sent a message and asked, Tell me, what happened, and how did you start practicing here? Little brother. Hey, this matter is a long story. Su Jingguo sighed secretly, and then thought to herself, some time ago, I learned about the Yunjiang Mountains from Tian's war god, and I was particularly angry, so I took it upon myself to accompany Tian's war god to Yunjiang Mountains. That evil cultivator went too far. He not only threatened the emperor to send supplies, but also killed innocent people indiscriminately. Many girls around Yunjiang disappeared for no reason. It was all his fault. Even Tian's god of war and others were not spared. When Su Jingguo said this, she gritted her teeth and said, I know that there is a big gap in strength between me and that man. I was seriously injured by him without even looking at him, so I wanted to run out and tell the emperor about this. Host. The other party is so powerful that I didn't have any hope, but who would have thought that I unexpectedly escaped from the clutches of that evil cultivator? Sujingwo continued, immediately afterwards, I met the man standing at the entrance of the cave. He said that his surname is Long, and that he came to Yunjiang this time to punish the strong, eliminate evil cultivators. Master Long said that my injury was too serious and it was difficult for me to move around, so he brought me here and gave me some healing herbs. He took good care of me and did not go overboard in the slightest. It is completely a gentleman's courtesy. Sujingwo sneered in her heart, but I have already seen through that this so-called brother Long is the heinous evil cultivator. He must have evil intentions when he keeps me here. I'm not in a hurry to point it out. I'll just use it to heal my wounds. Sujingwo's eyes were determined and she said, originally, I planned to find an opportunity to attack him sneakily after I recover from my injuries. I must make him pay the price. Who would have thought that you are here? Little brother, listen to my sister's advice and leave immediately. Leave immediately without looking back. Sujingwo said seriously and silently, this evil cultivator is very strong. I am already at the peak of martial arts. I couldn't even see how he struck, and he was already seriously injured. I remember when you left, when Jiangbei participated in the 100 sex martial arts competition, you were only in the Qi training realm, and changed to the ancient martial arts system. You were not even a martial master. It has only been half a year, and you cannot be his opponent. Sujingwo was worried about Su Yang and urged anxiously, quickly, you can still communicate with my soul, which means he didn't find you. If it's too late, it will be too late. Sister, don't worry about me. Su Yang felt warm in his heart and said through a message, I am very strong now. Even if the god of war comes, he still has to kneel down to me. Okay, what are you bragging about? How many times have you bragged since you were a child? How many times have you been beaten to a bruised nose and face, and I had to take action in the end? Sujingwo seemed not to believe it, and then said, you should leave quickly. Don't let me harm you again. Why don't you believe what I say? I'm really convinced by you. Su Yang was very helpless, and then said through a message, Sister, think about it, why can I find this place? Also, I've been chatting with you for a long time. Why hasn't the master you talked about discovered me yet? This. Sujingwo fell silent immediately, thinking about this question seriously, with a hint of surprise in her eyes. Could it be that, my little brother is really very strong? Sister, when they go down, you should act more naturally and don't expose me. Su Yang secretly sent a message, I will break the formation outside the cave first, which will only take a few minutes. Then I will sneak in and find an opportunity to kill him with one blow. Don't worry, my hiding methods are very advanced and he can't detect my existence. Good. Sujingwo replied in her heart, and then her eyes fell on Lu Hui and Long Pingsheng who were walking towards them. It is worth mentioning that the layout and landscaping of this cave are exactly the same as the ancestral land of the 11 family where Su Yuyu and Su Xing are located. The only difference is that the pond in the Zijia ancestral land is shaped like a crescent moon. The pool of water in this cave is also round, like a rough sun shape. Not only the shape, but also the water in this cave has a rare red color, like a sea of fire. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 804. Girl, are your injuries better? At this moment, Long Pingsheng spoke first, with a smile on his handsome face. Much better. Sujingwo's attitude towards Long Pingsheng was lukewarm. She was grateful to him but not willing to commit herself to him. But this was only on the surface. Sujingwo had already guessed Long Pingsheng's identity, so she hated him very much in her heart, but she just disguised it and didn't show it. Master Long. At this time, Sujingwo glanced at Lu Hui and felt a little familiar, but she couldn't remember who it was for a moment, so her eyes fell on Long Pingsheng again and asked, "Who is this girl?" "Haha, girl, I forgot to introduce you. I met this girl in the mountains of Yunjiang. Her name is..." When the words came to his lips, Long Pingsheng came to his senses and asked with a smile, "Girl, along the way, I forgot to ask your name. Can you tell me?" "Oh, my name is Lu Hui." When Lu Hui heard someone ask his name, he said it reflexively. After saying this, he realized something was wrong. There is no such thing as Lu Hui, a delicate and stunning beauty, she is too masculine. Lu Hui. Long Pingsheng paused and then asked doubtfully, "Girl, are you kidding me? Isn't Lu Hui a man's name?" "This." Lu Hui reacted quickly and said with a sad face, "Mr. Long, you guessed it right. In fact, this is not my name. I have a biological brother, his name is Lu Hui. Unfortunately, my brother, he died young and was killed." Lu Hui's eyes were red and he said aggrievedly, "I was born the next year after my brother. In order to keep my memory alive, my parents called me Lu Hui, so that I could remember my brother's hatred, practice hard, and strive to one day avenge my brother." Lu Hui wiped his tears and gritted his teeth and said, "The hateful sect killed my brother and forced my parents to compromise. I will never forget this debt for the rest of my life. I'm sorry, Mr. Long, I told you so much about my family affairs and made you laugh." At the end of the sentence, Lu Hui added shyly, "Hey, what's the matter? You're willing to tell me this, which means you don't treat me as an outsider. It's too late for me to be happy." Long Pingsheng showed a smile, then said righteously, "Also, Miss Lu Hui, don't worry, leave your brother's revenge to me. The world is not so chaotic now, but you dare to take human life lightly? Is there still justice or king's law? I will definitely seek justice for your family." "Ah, Mr. Long, but that big sect is very powerful. It is said that the sect leader has reached the peak of martial arts." Lu Hui said this deliberately, hoping to inspire Long's protective desire throughout his life. "Humph, that's nothing, I'm not afraid." Long Pingsheng said confidently, "From now on, your family will be supported by me, and no one will dare to threaten you again." Thank you, Mr. Long." Lu Hui pretended to be at a loss and said gratefully, "I really don't know how to repay you. I, Mr. Long, never do anything in return for anything in return. Otherwise, how would I be different from those sanctimonious people?" Long Pingsheng said with a measured attitude. Lu Hui's eyes were filled with stars, and he looked at Long Pingsheng with admiration, as if he was admiring a superhero. This made Long Pingsheng very satisfied. An imperceptible smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, thinking that he had conquered the pretty lady in front of him. People like him have experienced it too many times by using strong means to get women. The struggle of those women had caused him to lose his sense of happiness and instead found it very boring. He hopes to conquer the most beautiful beauties with his strength, and now he has easily won over an exotic young lady, which can be regarded as adding a lot of color to his beauty road. Comfortable. Farewell. As for Sujingguo next to him, Long Pingsheng had given up. "Good. Sister Lu Hui, don't be afraid. Girl, I'm sure I didn't mean to hurt you." Long Pingsheng comforted her. She concluded that the stunning beauty Lu Hui in front of her should be Su Yang's subordinate Lu Hui. Brother's name. At this time, Sujingguo looked at the shy woman not far away in surprise, and suddenly remembered how this woman looked so similar to Lu Hui. Lu Hui. Sujingguo didn't stop. After clasping her fists and saying goodbye, she jumped up and left through the hole above. But now that there was a beauty from another land, Long Pingsheng didn't bother, so he just let the assassination go. Long Pingsheng said calmly, obviously trying to show off his face because of Lu Hui's bullying. "What's the meaning?" Lu Hui choked up while wiping his tears, it would be great if I could be as courageous as the heroine's sister. Then bad people would not dare to bully our family. It is all my fault. I am not as good as the heroine's sister. Of course, he had already sentenced Sujingwo to death in his heart, and he would definitely not let her go out of the mountains of Yunjiang. Don't worry about us, I have my own sense of discretion, Su Yang reassured. Heroine, sister. Well, I know I have a cowardly personality, so I can only endure it. Sujingwo looked calm on the surface, but she had vague guesses in her heart. Yes, I have remembered this kindness, and I will express my gratitude in the future, Sujingwo said with her fists clasped. Does he need me to cooperate with him in anything? This. Sujingwo and Lu Hui had met each other. Su Yang once took Lu Hui to the battlefield to save her, so Sujingwo was deeply impressed by Lu Hui. Su Yang suddenly sent a message secretly, that Long Pingsheng will definitely invite you out of the cave. As for me, I will look for an opportunity to take action. Don't cry, don't cry. Sister, stop guessing. He is Lu Hui. For safety reasons, you are deliberately conflicting with Lu Hui now. Thank you very much, I don't care. Sujingwo agreed, then met Lu Hui's gaze and said in a cold tone, who do you call sister? Did I say I'm older than you? If it had been before, Long Pingsheng would have worked harder to conquer it. Long Pingsheng's heart was almost broken. He hurriedly wiped Lu Hui's tears, turned to look at Sujingwo, and said calmly, Jingwo girl, I left you here to facilitate your recovery. Now that your injury is almost healed, should you? Left. When Lu Hui saw Sujingwo getting angry, he hurriedly and timidly hid behind Long Pingsheng, and whispered, Brother Long, look, Sister Jingwo is so fierce. At this moment, Lu Hui looked at Sujingwo and said in a chatty voice, I heard Brother Long call you Jingwo girl, and I call you Jingwo sister. You won't be angry, right? Although this woman is even more stunning, her temperament is cold and she won't let anyone get close to her. She's boring, too boring. Is this okay? Will you be in danger? Sujingwo thought silently with concern. If Su Yang hadn't been outside, Sujingwo wouldn't be sure, but now, she was sure that Lu Hui was someone she knew. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 805. After Sujingwo left, Long Pingsheng and Lu Hui were the only two people left in the cave. Sister Lu Hui, please wait here for a moment while I go outside to collect some game for you to try. Long Pingsheng smiled and said, my craftsmanship is very good, I will not let you down. With that said, Long Pingsheng was about to leave the cave, intending to catch up with Sujingwo and kill him. Since you can't get it, there's no need to use force, just kill it. The energy contained in the essence and blood of a woman in the martial master realm is of great benefit to the yin-yang dragon divine art. I underestimate this formation, Lu Hui, pester him and give me another 5 minutes. Su Yang was always paying attention to the situation in the cave. When he heard that Long Pingsheng was coming out, he hurriedly sent a message to Lu Hui. After receiving the message from his master, Lu Hui smiled and said, Brother Long, I'm not hungry yet and I don't want to eat. Hey, Brother Long, the pool water here is so strange. It's red in color, like lava. Lu Hui changed the subject in a hurry. This. Long Pingsheng stopped, smiled softly and said, this is the secret of our Long family, but since Sister Lu Hui asked, I naturally want to tell you. This pool is called Sun Pool. According to calculations, it has existed for at least tens of thousands of years. Because the liquid flowing inside is similar to the scorching magma, it was named Sun Pool and has been guarded by us Long clan members for generations. Long Pingsheng smiled and said, this Sun Pool is of great benefit for cultivating the purest and most yang skills. It can also suppress the cold and yin energy in the body. It is a rare paradise. Wow, it actually has such a big origin. Lu Hui admired him very much. Now he didn't need to do anything else but delay time, so he asked, Brother Long, people say Sun Moon Lake. Since there is Sun Lake, is there also Moon Lake? Haha, you are really right. Long Pingsheng smiled softly and said, between heaven and earth, there really is a moon pool. The water in the pool is crystal clear and the light waves flowing on the surface are like the essence of the sun and the moon. It's just that Moon Lake is not under the control of us Long clan members, but is in the ancestral land of the 11 family and has been guarded by the 11 family for generations. Long Pingsheng smiled and said, speaking of the moon pool, it's not simple. It is said that a bed of ice is created. As long as you practice on the bed of ice, 1 month is equivalent to a year. I don't know whether it is true or not. Ice bed. These words aroused Lu Hui's curiosity, so he turned to kill time and then asked, Brother Long, you must have been to the moon pool, have you ever seen the ice bed? Never been there. Long Pingsheng shook his head and said, I only saw the annotations in ancient books. I have not been to Moon Lake. If there is a chance in the future, I really want to see it. Brother Long, can you take me with you then? Lu Hui asked coquettishly. Haha, of course. Long Pingsheng agreed cheerfully, and his eyes fell on Lu Hui. The more he looked at it, the more satisfied he became. Lu Hui seized this opportunity and started chatting with Long Pingsheng. His words vaguely expressed that he was impressed by Long Pingsheng's conversation. In this way, Long Pingsheng was naturally willing to chat with Lu Hui and enjoyed this feeling very much. In this way, the two of them were like a young couple, keeping a distance from each other. They seemed to be attracted to each other and had a good impression of each other, which was very beautiful. At this moment, outside the cave, because the formation outside the cave can isolate the atmosphere, not only are people outside unable to detect the presence of people inside, but people inside are also unable to sense the outside. Therefore, Su Yang did not let her sister really escape. Su Jingguo was right next to her at this moment. As for Su Yang, he was using both hands to crack Reeton's formation. Before, he thought that it would be cracked quickly, but only after getting started did he realize that it would still take a lot of effort. But it's not a big problem. If it takes another 3 to 5 minutes, it will definitely succeed. Little brother, do you still know the formation? At this time, Su Jingguo said silently in her heart. In order not to alarm Long Pingsheng, she did not make a sound, but used the method just now to communicate with Su Yang. Su Yang nodded, Chuanyan smiled, and said, Sister, the formation is a piece of cake for me. That's good. However, I have been observing Long Pingsheng for several days. He is not at the peak of martial arts. Su Jingguo reminded, his strength is unfathomable. He must have reached the realm of martial saint, otherwise he would not be able to defeat me easily. You are right, but you are also wrong. He is indeed not at the peak of martial arts, but he is not a martial saint either. Su Yang smiled and said through the message, he has stepped into the realm of the martial god. He is not a land martial god, but a real martial god. What? Su Jingguo almost cried out and said in shock, God of War, it has only been half a year since the ancient martial arts revolution. I didn't expect that there are masters in the realm of God of War in the world. It's incredible. I suddenly got a mysterious power. With one step, I reached the realm of martial master. Su Jingguo continued, at first I thought I had some shit luck, but then I heard about what happened in Wudane Mountain. Brother, having said that, I still want to thank you. Sister, you're welcome. We are all family members. Please say thank you to me. Su Yang smiled and transmitted the message. This formation is not very complicated. With Su Yang's current soul strength, he can naturally crack it while talking. Haha, it's true. If one family doesn't speak the same language, you've really grown up. Su Jingguo looked at Su Yang with satisfaction, then continued, in the past 6 months, I have been practicing hard, and finally I have the opportunity to reach the peak of martial arts. I thought I would be very strong, but who would have thought that in this small mountain of Yunjiang, there would be an evil cultivator in the martial god realm. Facing him, I was really powerless and had no power to resist at all. Speaking of this, Sujingguo showed a wry smile, obviously shocked. Sister, don't think so much. In fact, at the peak of Wuzun, for now, he is already among the top experts. Su Yang comforted him. Also, you only saw that Long Pingshen was very strong. Do you know how old Long Pingshen is? How old? Sujingguo asked doubtfully. No less than 400 years old. Su Yang continued, he himself is a person of extraordinary talent, and he is in the royal family and was the emperor's master, so he has inexhaustible resources. This kind of person has accumulated a lot of experience and exploded. After the ancient martial arts revolution, it is normal for his strength to increase by leaps and bounds. In addition, he took a wrong path and used women's blood to eliminate evil ways, which accelerated his cultivation speed. Su Yang smiled and said, so, sister, don't envy him, and don't be hit by him. Such people are rare. So that's it? Hearing Su Yang's comfort, Sujingguo felt better, and then asked, brother, you know that he is in the early stage of the martial god, but you still dare to make an enemy of him. Is it possible that you have already stepped into the realm of god transformation? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 806. Become a God. Su Yang shook his head and said, that's not true. I am currently in the nascent soul realm, but I am confident of dealing with opponents in the early stage of the martial god. As long as you are confident, then I will rest assured. Sujingguo breathed a sigh of relief, then showed a smile and said happily, little brother, your growth rate is getting more and more exaggerated every time. The last few times, every time I see you, you surprise me, especially this time. Sujingguo muttered happily, I didn't expect you to successfully enter the nascent soul realm. You are even stronger than your great-grandfather. Our Su family will regain the glory of its peak period. Haha, sister, this is just the beginning. In the future, the Su family will definitely be famous all over the world and reverberate beyond the territory, Su Yang said seriously. Okay, okay. Sujingguo was very happy, and then asked, brother, I don't know everything about Wudang Mountain. How is your relationship with Taishan? How are you getting along? Are they still unwilling to let you see your mother? How is that possible? Grandpa. Su Yang was about to say something. At this time, Sujingguo glanced at Su Yang angrily and asked in her heart, you actually called him Grandpa, did I hear you correctly? This matter is rather complicated. Sister, if you digest this memory, you will probably understand everything. Su Yang showed a smile, and then injected a bunch of memories into Sujingguo's mind. Soon, Sujingguo had finished digesting it, and her suspense about Shihahan was gone. Then Sujingguo asked, brother, have you gone to see my mother? After the ancient martial arts revolution, I learned that the earth was about to recover spiritual energy, and it was another difficult battle. Su Yang smiled bitterly and said, time was urgent, so I chose to go into seclusion. I just came out of seclusion a few days ago. After I came out of seclusion, there were all kinds of things. I never had time to go to Mount Tai. When I came out of quarantine, I met my dad and grandpa. They said you were missing. I only had time to investigate your news yesterday. Su Yang continued, when I learned that you disappeared near the mountains of Yunjiang, and there were evil cultivators here who eat people and spit out bones, I thought something had happened to you and wanted to come here for revenge. Who knew you were not dead? Sister, what happened to Long Xin Tian? Why didn't he kill you? Could it be that you were so beautiful that you were reluctant to kill him? Su Yang joked. I am not sure as well. Su Jingguo smiled and said, however, it is true that he is showing his kindness to me. In the past few days, he has shown himself in front of me like a peacock spreading its tail every day. But I'm not stupid. With such a strong strength and a cave in the mountains of Yunjiang, I must be related to the evil cultivator. There is a high probability that he himself is the evil cultivator. How could I be fooled by him? Su Jingguo smiled. Sister is wise. Su Yang smiled softly and then said, I guess that in addition to wanting to conquer you with his charm, there is another reason. That is that he has just advanced to the realm of the god of war and does not need blood in a short time. In other words, when he is full, you are naturally safe. If it were before he was promoted to the martial god, he would definitely not show mercy to you, and I am afraid he would directly kill you as his own nourishment. Su Yang's eyes darkened and he sneered, I won't speculate on you. Sister, just be safe. I have mastered the formation at the entrance of the cave. Long Pingsheng will die soon. Sister, the Su family has a treasure, you should know it. Right now I will take you into the Void Tower, and when it is done, I will release you, Su Yang suggested. Su Jingguo knew that her presence would only cause trouble to Su Yang, so she nodded. After getting his sister's consent, Su Yang made a thought and the Void Tower appeared instantly. We just met by chance, will we meet again in the future? Lu Hui whispered, with a bit of reluctance in his tone. Not elegant enough? I have been called this name for decades. It is elegant and elegant. How can I not know it? Sister Lu Hui. Long Pingsheng, who was next to Riton, was holding Lu Hui's hand and chatting and laughing when he suddenly noticed something strange. Brother Long, what's wrong? Lu Hui asked tentatively. Is there something wrong with the formation? Lu Hui said repulsively, it's so shameful, master, that I, a man, hinted at another man, it's too shameful, no, I will never do such a thing, otherwise I would have no face to see my Lu family's wife. My ancestors, they will not recognize me as an unworthy descendant. Long Pingsheng smiled and said, when I have time someday, I will give you a good name. Brother Long, you can also name names, you're so awesome. Lu Hui looked at Long Pingsheng with admiration on his face. The whole process is very fast, not even 0.1 seconds is used. Long Pingsheng felt that the time was almost up, so he picked up Lu Hui and walked slowly to the bed. Long Pingsheng moved his eyes to look over, but found nothing unusual, and there were no signs of damage to the formation, so he felt that he was worrying too much. Subsequently, Lu Hui seemed to be moved, and he met Long Pingsheng's gaze lovingly, with little stars twinkling in his eyes. Nothing. Let's go drinking together on the top of Mount Tai, go to the West Lake to wear yarn, go to the Mongolian grassland to dance, and visit the Miao people again. The world is huge, and I can accompany you through it all. Lu Hui was about to refuse, when Su Yang's soul sent a voice message and said, Lu Hui, I'm coming in. You try to make the conversation more lively, hinting to him that you want to be, yes, just do that kind of thing, he let his guard down. Depend on. Long Pingsheng suddenly held Lu Hui in his arms, looked down at the young lady in front of him, and said affectionately, even if the sea changes, even if the sea dies, I will stay with you. Su Yang opened the formation at the entrance of the cave, sneaked in, and then closed the formation again. If you have any ideas about changing your name, you can tell me and I will help you come up with a good name. As for the Void Tower, although he would need it later, Su Yang planned to sneak in and look for a chance to kill him with one blow, so he still kept it inside his body. See you later. Master, it's a trivial matter, just leave it to me. Long Pingsheng squeezed Lu Hui's hand and said with an elegant smile, Miss Lu Hui, have you ever thought that you are you and you do not represent anyone else? The name Lu Hui is really not elegant enough when used on you. You really want me to change my name? Just go ahead and dream. Su Yang showed a confident smile, and then used the Void Tower to take the elder sister in. Brother Long. After everything is done, I will help you enter the realm of martial masters, Su Yang said in a calm voice. Sister Lu Hui, as long as you want, we can always be together, and no one can separate us. Of course, naming is not a simple matter. It needs to coincide with the birth date, horoscope, and 5 elements attributes. You can't be careless. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 807. For Lu Hui, today is definitely a thrilling day. He turned into a woman and was carried into bed by a man. At this moment, Lu Hui felt like he was about to be fucked, and the emotions deep in his heart were very complicated. But he couldn't show it. He even had to show happiness and a hint of hope. The requirements for acting skills must be extremely high. In order to be promoted to Wuzan, Lu Hui completely risked his life. Not only did he look very happy, he also hooked his hands around Long Pingshen's neck, smiling like a flower and a little shy. Sister Lu Hui, don't worry, I will be very gentle and won't hurt you. Long Pingsheng said gently, then put Lu Hui on the bed and began to take off Lu Hui's skirt. At this time, Lu Hui, a master of cross-dressing, suddenly realized this problem. He still had the characteristics of a man underneath. How embarrassing it would be if he took off his skirt and made Long Ping still a big boy. After reacting, Lu Hui said shyly, Long, brother Long, I can just take it off myself. You take off yours. I want to see if you have abdominal muscles. Ha ha ha, okay, I usually pay attention to body maintenance, and I have 8-pack abs. I will take them off to show you. When he mentioned his abdominal muscles, Long Pingsheng suddenly felt proud and hurriedly unbuttoned his clothes. Lu Hui also slowly pulled down the clothes on his shoulders, exposing his shoulders. Sister Lu Hui's skin is so white and tender. Long Pingshen's eyes widened, and he couldn't help but swallow 2 mouthfuls of saliva, admiring it while taking off his clothes. The time has come. Good chance. At this moment, Su Yang appeared, suddenly offering the key to the East Mansion and the Void Tower. Buzz. Buzz. The next moment, 2 treasures appeared above Su Yang's head, both exuding terrifying pressure and sweeping over the entire place. Who? Long Pingsheng was shocked and realized that something bad was going on. As soon as he saw Su Yang's appearance, the Void Tower and the key to the East Mansion came to attack him. At this point, Long Pingsheng wanted to resist, but it was too late. Boom! Boom! In an instant, the 2 treasures hit Long Pingsheng one after another. Puff! Long Pingsheng's body was directly blown away, and a pool of blood spurted out after landing. His whole body was sluggish, leaving only one breath left. The ancient warrior in the early stage of the mighty martial god was defeated by Su Yang before he could take action. Receive. After the sneak attack was successful, Su Yang thought and took the Void Tower and the key to the East Palace into his body. Immediately afterwards, Su Yang strode up to Long Pingsheng, condescendingly, and said with a playful smile, Long Pingsheng, I'm sorry to meet you in this way. Despicable villain, how dare you plot against me? Long Pingsheng was furious, staring at Su Yang with evil eyes, and asked, Bitch, who are you? Who sent you here? My name is Su Yang. Su Yang said calmly, no one can instruct me. I came here on my own. Su Jingguo is my sister. My dear sister, it's not good for you to provoke anyone, but to provoke her, you are really looking for death. Su Jingguo. Long Pingsheng frowned and said instead, little brother, have you misunderstood? Your sister was injured by an evil cultivator. I helped her and healed her injuries. I just let her go. He he. Long Pingsheng continued, oh, of course, the person behind the scenes should be my former queen, Hong Fu. At this time, Lu Hui stood up from the bed, walked over and said, what nonsense are you talking to him about? Just kill him. Owner. Jinwu Star Territory. Haha, of course it's my junior, Long Xin Tian. He, that's it, that's it. Long Pingsheng had calmed down, stared at Su Yang, and sneered, Master Su, judging from your age, you are not very old. You have achieved such great achievements in your 20s, so you must be an extraordinary person. Now that things have happened, I no longer have any intention of surviving. You have severely injured me, and I am about to save my life. I am afraid that I will not be able to return to my peak in this life. If I live like this, I might as well die now. When the two of us started, we were in love with each other, playing the piano and singing in harmony. But as time went by, the relationship faded away, and there was no such thing as an eternal oath. Long Pingsheng looked at Su Yang, exhaling more and less inhaling, Master Su, do you want to hear this story? Speak directly if you have anything to say, Su Yang said coldly, who has taken advantage of me? Long Ping was about to die, but he smiled calmly and said, it's just that people like Mr. Su are being taken advantage of for no apparent reason. I feel unworthy for you. If you want to avenge your sister, go find the evil cultivator in Yunjiang Mountain. What are you plotting against me for? Long Pingsheng tried to deceive Su Yang. However, do you know that if you kill me today, it means that you are being used as a gun. And my former queen, Hong Fu, is one of the best. She has stepped into the realm of the martial emperor, and her strength is comparable to that of the immortal emperor. Long Pingsheng smiled softly and then said, the Jinwu Star Territory I mentioned is a star territory where martial arts are extremely prosperous. The ancient martial arts system has no faults and there are many strong people. Su Yang sneered and said, Long Pingsheng, what are you pretending to be? Before coming here, I went to Kyoto and met Long Xin Tian. He told me everything. Long Pingsheng looked at Lu Hui and then at Su Yang. After all, he had lived for hundreds of years. He understood everything in an instant. I didn't expect that I, Long Pingsheng, would fall into the hands of you two today. It's my fault for being careless. Why? That old woman is not simple. She is not from Earth, but from a place called Jinwu Star Territory. Red Whisk. Wait a moment. When he was the Xiantian Immortal Emperor, he had heard that there were extremely powerful people in the Jinwu Star region who had entered the imperial realm with martial arts and achieved the name of the Martial Emperor. Among them, Emperor Hongfu was the most outstanding representative and had a very great reputation. It's too late to regret now, suffer death, Su Yang's eyes flashed, and he was about to kill Long Pingsheng immediately. Owner. Su Yang said lightly, I would like to know what story you can tell. You secretly practice the yin-yang dragon magic, a forbidden technique of the Long clan, which requires using a woman's blood as a guide. Your crime is extremely heinous and unforgivable, Su Yang said solemnly. He. Su Yang frowned and asked calmly, if you want to make up lies and beg me to spare your life, then you don't have to, because you are bound to die. Long Pingsheng said with a bitter smile, later, I was having fun with a newcomer, and she discovered it, which completely angered her. From then on, she began to control the court and put me under house arrest. Our relationship came to an end. Long Pingsheng continued, it's just that hundreds of years ago, she had a decisive battle with the Qing Huang Empress, a powerful person from another star field, and was injured by her, so she came to Earth and committed herself to me. There is indeed a Hongfu martial emperor in the Jinwu Star Territory, and Su Yang has an impression of this. Go on. Since Long Pingsheng knew about Jinwu Star Territory and accurately named Hongfu martial emperor, it shouldn't be like lying. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 808. I know she hates me, but she hasn't killed me in these hundreds of years because she can't kill me. We had an agreement that if she kills me, she will be punished. I thought I was going to live my whole life like this, doing nothing, but who would have thought that I unexpectedly got the Yin-Yang Dragon Divine Skill Practice Method. Of course I couldn't wait to start practicing, but as soon as I started practicing, I knew that the martial arts I picked up was not complete. If I continued to practice, something would definitely go wrong. But I still continue to practice without hesitation. I will try my best again after all. In the end, I succeeded. I used women's blood to make up for the lack of yin-yang dragon magic, and even greatly increased the speed of promotion. If this continues, who else in the world will be my opponent? Long Pingsheng said with a self-deprecating smile, but I never expected that I would be tricked by them in the end. Although I don't know what happened specifically, Su Jingguo was probably sent here intentionally by Long Xintian in order to arouse hatred between you and me. Long Pingsheng looked at Su Yang and continued, now they have got their wish, Mr. Su, kill me, ugh. The reason why Long Pingsheng said this and took the initiative to confess to Su Yang was that he didn't really want to die. He said this deliberately, just to beg for mercy in reverse, thinking that Su Yang would hate Long Xintian and Hongfu so much that he would not kill him in order to prevent the other party from achieving their goals. But he thought too much. How could Su Yang be fooled? No matter what, Long Ping was destined to die. Therefore, Su Yang didn't hesitate at all, and slapped Long Pingshen's Tianling Gai with his palm. In this way, Long Pingshen, who had lived for hundreds of years, died in shock and unwillingness. Your business is your business. They took advantage of me. This is the grudge between me and them, 1 yard at a time. Su Yang glanced at Long Pingshen's cold corpse, then raised a playful smile on his lips and murmured, Emperor Hongfu Wu, it's interesting, I didn't expect that she also came to Earth, and she came hundreds of years ago. What on earth is there that has attracted so many Emperor Realm Masters? Emperor Hongfu Wu has been on Earth for so long, I don't know what his strength is now. Thinking of this, Su Yang moved his eyes to look at Long Pingsheng, and then suddenly raised his hand, search for souls. Soul-searching secrets. Although Long Pingsheng is a god of martial arts, his benchmark cultivation system is the realm of god transformation. But after all, he is not a god, a strong person in the ancient martial arts system, and his soul power is relatively weak. With Su Yang's current state, he could forcibly search for Long Ping's memories. Soon, Su Yang got a general idea about Emperor Hongfu Wu. It's ridiculous. Emperor Hongfu Wu, who entered Taoism through martial arts, actually started to practice cultivation after coming to Earth. Su Yang smiled softly and said, in Long's life memory, Emperor Hongfu Wu was subject to some ominous circumstances and did not break through to the realm of pill formation, but only to the realm of foundation building. In other words, she stepped into the 9 revolutions fake elixir, but after all, it is not the real elixir. Su Yang smiled playfully, this kind of strength, in my opinion, is vulnerable. Also, what happened to my old sister may have been planned by Long Xintian. Su Yang narrowed his eyes slightly and sneered, just in time, we still need to pass through Kyoto to return to Jiangbei. Long Xintian, I need you to give me an explanation. With this thought in his mind, Su Yang originally wanted to wave his hand and make Long Bing live to pieces. But at this moment, he suddenly discovered that an extremely powerful and majestic force was leaving Long Pingshen's body and seemed to be leaving this place. Is this royal energy? Su Yang took a closer look and was instantly overjoyed, haha, the spirit of the dynasty. Most of the royal energy accumulated by the Long family for thousands of years was actually absorbed into Long Pingshen's body. No wonder he still looks good after hundreds of years, and after the ancient martial arts revolution, his strength has improved by leaps and bounds. Taking into account that this old guy has been absorbing imperial energy for so many years, all the accumulation of the Long clan has been put into his body. What a huge ambition! Su Yang smiled playfully and said, no wonder Long Xingtian wants him dead. He has such a majestic imperial energy. As the emperor, Long Xingtian is not jealous. It is a lie. This imperial energy comes from the Long clan and is not boundless water. As long as Long Ping dies, the imperial energy will inevitably return to Kyoto. By then, won't Long Xingtian be able to control these imperial energy? Su Yang showed a look that saw everything, and then said, but it's a pity that you met me, Long Xingtian. I'm afraid your wishful thinking will come to nothing. If he relied solely on his own means, given Su Yang's current state, he would definitely not be able to restrain these imperial auras. The naturally formed energy between heaven and earth is difficult to control, even if no spiritual intelligence is born, unless it is suppressed by force. But such a majestic dynasty spirit cannot be suppressed without the strength to overcome the tribulation or above. But Su Yang is different. He has a void tower. As long as he collects the qi of the dynasty into the void tower and suppresses it with the void tower, he can naturally control the qi of the dynasty. Then, with a thought in Su Yang's mind, the void tower appeared, and then Long Pingshen's body was attracted into the void tower. Su Yang himself also calmed down and entered the void tower. At this moment, inside the void tower, this is a boundless void. 49 members of the Blood Slaughter, under the leadership of Xiaoting, are practicing the Dragon Volition combination attack. The momentum is overwhelming and terrifying. Although they do not have a fixed realm, when they join hands and rely solely on the power of their physical bodies, they can already compare to nascent soul. Owner. At this moment, seeing Su Yang appear, Xiaoting and the 49 members of the Blood Massacre ended their training one after another, faced Su Yang, and knelt down on one knee to salute respectfully. Get up. Su Yang nodded and said, I came here today to give you an opportunity. With that said, Su Yang raised his hand and pointed to Long Pingshen's body not far away. The qi and blood of this corpse are so pure. What kind of ancient warrior is he? He actually has such terrifying qi and blood. Not only that, how could I detect that there was a powerful force pouring out of his body? Do you even need to notice it? The energy is like substance and you can see it at a glance. This power has a royal aura, is majestic, mighty, and intimidating. A group of members of the Blood Slaughter were talking about Long Pingshen's body, and their eyes were straightened at the same time. Owner. Among them, Xiaoting said excitedly, are these corpses and energy given to us? Su Yang smiled and said, this man is an old emperor who has been here for hundreds of years. In order to speed up his cultivation, he did all kinds of evil and even sucked the blood of women. He even tried to take advantage of my sister, so I killed him. You guessed correctly before. He has the imperial energy accumulated by the Long dynasty for thousands of years in his body. This power is very terrifying. Su Yang continued, especially the dynasty's energy, which is mixed with traces of dragon's energy. What you practice is the Qinglong body training technique. This dynasty's energy is of great benefit to you. If you all absorb this dynasty's energy together, I'm afraid your combat effectiveness will be close to that of the transformation god. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 809. Thank you, Master. Xiaoting was extremely surprised and thanked him respectfully. Thank you, Master. Thank you, Master. Thank you, Master. Hearing this, the 49 Blood Slaughter members all cupped their fists and thanked Su Yang. You're welcome. You are my subordinates. Helping you become stronger is what I should do. Su Yang smiled softly, and then said, by the way, his body is also handed over to you. He should be the first martial god on earth after the ancient martial arts revolution. He is comparable to the realm of god transformation, with rich essence and blood. You are lucky. As for his storage ring, he has been in the world for hundreds of years. There must be many rare treasures and elixirs in the ring. I have given them to you. Su Yang added, then retracted his mind, looked around, his eyes fell on Lu Hui, smiled and said, Lu Hui, thanks to you this time, otherwise I wouldn't be able to kill him so easily. It's just that you almost sacrificed yourself, which makes me quite embarrassed. How about this? After I help you get a foothold in martial arts, I will help you rise to the peak of martial arts. How about that? In that case, please leave it to Master. Lu Hui was extremely excited. He didn't know why, but now he wanted to throw himself into Su Yang's arms and kiss Su Yang. You're welcome, it's just a small matter. Su Yang looked at Lu Hui and smiled softly, okay, now let me help you disguise yourself. I think you are more disgusted with women's clothing and feel more ashamed. Are you going back in disguise so soon? Lu Hui suddenly felt reluctant. He looked at his arms and then down at his assets. He was very satisfied, so he asked, Master, can you let me keep this for a few days? I want to use this appearance to tease the king, fight that muggle. You pervert. Su Yang smiled, but still agreed, okay, no problem. If I don't take action, you will probably be back to your original appearance tonight. The disguise technique has a time limit, and as Su Yang's strength increases, the longer it lasts. Certainly. Su Yang just casually disguised Lu Hui without taking any trouble, so he could only keep it up for more than 10 hours. If Su Yang disguises himself, it will remain the same even if it takes a week. Restore automatically at night, this is good. Lu Hui smiled and said, there's enough time, Master, it's time for us to return to Jiangbei now. Yes, but don't be in a hurry. We'll stop in Kyoto for a while. I want to ask Long Xintian about something, Su Yang said calmly, with a hint of sinisterness flashing in his eyes. Lu Hui noticed the change in Su Yang's expression and his heart tightened. He knew that his master was angry because of the words Long Pingsheng left before his death, so he didn't say anything. This pool is a bit strange. Just when Su Yang was about to leave, he suddenly noticed red flames billowing in the pond next to him, and his eyes were attracted. Master, Long Pingsheng said that this is Sun Pool and has existed for tens of thousands of years. Lu Hui introduced, it is said that the Sun Pool has terrifying energy, which is of great benefit to the cultivation of pure and yang martial arts. Indeed, I also noticed it. It's really good. Pack it up and take it away and leave it for the blood slaughter members. Su Yang showed a malicious smile, then waved his hand, and the sun pool in the cave disappeared. The next second, a pool filled with red flames appeared out of thin air in the void tower. Xiaoting, I understand this. This is the sun pool. The water of the red flame pool is very beneficial to the Qinglong body training technique. If you arrange your time and take turns to sit in and absorb it, your strength will definitely improve by leaps and bounds. After leaving a few words, Su Yang recovered his mind, and then left the cave together with Lu Hui. Before leaving, Su Yang controlled the formation and directly destroyed Suntan, destroying everything below. A few minutes later, Su Yang and Lu Hui met Zhang Zhonghai where the helicopter was parked. Palace Master, has the matter been resolved? Zhang Zhonghai asked politely. Su Yang nodded and said, Long Pingsheng is dead, it's settled successfully. That's good. Hey, Palace Master, who is the girl next to you? Suddenly, Zhang Zhonghai saw Lu Hui and asked curiously. Su Yang smiled and did not answer, while Lu Hui said dissatisfiedly, Old man, I am Lu Hui, and you don't even recognize me anymore. What the hell? Zhang Hongai's face was full of doubts. Are you Lu Hui? Who are you fooling? Your beauty is rare in the world. Lu Hui is a man, how can you be him? But let's not talk about it yet. You and Lu Hui are somewhat similar, but the key is that the gap is even greater. Old man. Seeing that Zhang Hongaiu didn't believe it, Lu Hui stepped forward and said, are you presbyopic? Come, take a closer look and see if I am Lu Hui. While talking, Lu Hui even shook his body deliberately. The dangling motion was particularly eye-catching. Puff. See no evil, see no evil. Zhang Hongaiu looked away in a hurry, his nose bleeding almost spurting out. I have been upright and upright in my life, how can I be someone who takes advantage of me? Girl, stay away from me. Cut. Lu Hui called Zhang Hongaiu but still didn't believe it, so he simply said, sure enough, I can't hide it from the old man. In fact, I am not Lu Hui. Lu Hui is my brother. My name is Lu Yuyan. Lu Yuyan, a good name. Zhang Hongaiu praised Lu Hui, then slowly turned around and began to admire Lu Hui. A pair of turbid eyes flashed with strange colors. I didn't expect Lu Hui's sister to be so stunning. I have traveled all over the world and climbed over 3 mountains and mountains. She is very beautiful, it's rare to see such a beautiful and fragrant person. Congratulations to the palace master, I have gained another stunning beauty. I will no longer be lonely day and night in the future, Zhang Hongaiu said with a smile. Reward. Beautiful woman? My day. You fart. Su Yang's face was dark, and then he said with a serious face, I already have a good match, how can I be a man who is attracted by sex? How can I be a woman who can't be sorry for me? Zhang Hongaiu, if you slander me again, don't blame me for being rude to you, Su Yang scolded, reacting strongly. Have no idea. Su Yang felt a chill in his heart when he thought of the cross-dressing tycoon Lu Hui. Palace master, calm down. When Zhang Hongaiu saw the palace master's reaction so strongly, he knew that the palace master had no feelings for the beauty in front of him, so he said, I will never say anything more. Well, that's pretty much it. Su Yang looked at Zhang Hongaiu and then said, Zhang Hongaiu, you have been following me for a while and you have done a lot for me. Let's do this. This Lu Yuyan will be rewarded to you. Su Yang secretly sent a message from his soul, of course, as for how far you can develop, it all depends on your ability. Don't force others just because of your strong martial arts skills. Do you understand? Palace master. Zhang Hongaiu didn't speak, but smiled bitterly and muttered silently, stop teasing me. I'm already old, so what kind of woman do I need? Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 810. What's wrong with your age? Haven't you heard of old and young couples? Now the little girl might just like you. Su Yang then sent a message, you can try to chase her. If you succeed, you will make a lot of money. Don't say you are not interested in such a beautiful woman as Lu Yuyan. I have noticed it. When you see her at that time, my eyes were straightened. Subordinate. Zhang Hongaiu glanced at the cross-dressing Lu Hui secretly again, then said sheepishly, okay, I'll give it a try, maybe I can really succeed. Try something, old man, what do you want to try? Zhang Hongaiu said the last sentence directly, and Lu Hui heard it, so he asked. No, it's nothing. Zhang Hongaiu was very embarrassed. He blushed and deliberately avoided the question. Okay, don't be nagging, Lu Yuyan, your brother Lu Hui can fly a plane, you must be able to fly a plane, right? Su Yang asked with a smile. Yeah. Lu Hui was trying to find an identity for himself in women's clothing, so he followed Su Yang's words and said, Master, I'm very good at flying airplanes. I'll take you to fly later. Su Yang nodded, and then everyone took the helicopter piloted by Lu Hui and left the Yunjiang Mountains. En route. When Zhang Honggao asked where Lu Hui had gone, Su Yang made an excuse and said that Lu Hui had been arranged to do other things. Regarding Su Yang's words, Zhang Honggao naturally had no doubts about him. Then throughout the flight, he kept greeting Lu Yuyan, completely like a chatterbox, which was completely inconsistent with his previous upright image of the Kyoto sage. Even Lu Hui noticed it and secretly sent a message to Su Yang, complaining that Zhang Honggao wanted the old cow to eat young grass. Su Yang regarded this as a joke and didn't care. Instead, he sat in front of the helicopter and meditated. Not long after Su Yang and his party left, a woman in white suddenly appeared where Sun Tan was. The woman is wearing a white veil, and her appearance cannot be seen clearly. She has a very good temperament, just like a fairy from Guanggan coming to the dust. Certainly. If Su Yang were here, he would definitely be able to recognize through his aura and body shape that this person is the ancestor of the 11 family, Zhao. Riton, disappeared. Zhao closed her eyes and carefully felt the surrounding situation, then opened her eyes and said in disbelief, "This is impossible. Suntan and Muntan, my 11 family's ancestral home, have existed for endless years and contain majestic power. How could they suddenly disappear?" Zhao frowned slightly and couldn't help but guess, is it possible that the power of Riton has been completely absorbed by the Long family? It should be impossible. The Long clan has classified yin-yang dragon magic as a forbidden technique. For thousands of years, no one has practiced this martial art. Zhao frowned and said, even if there are people who practice, it is impossible to drain the entire Suntan lake. Suntan is not a dead thing. The energy in it will continue to emerge and be inexhaustible. Zhao guessed, is it possible that someone took away the sun pool by replacing it with others? We don't rule out the possibility that a powerful treasure that contains the laws of space can do it. Could it be that, the little guy is here? Zhao reasonably guessed that the little guy she was talking about was naturally Su Yang. It is no secret that Su Yang owns the Void Tower, and no one knows how powerful the Void Tower is. I rushed here in a hurry because I wanted to use the Sun Pool to practice the 9 Dragons' Qi. I also wanted to find out what the evil cultivators in Yunjiang are and whether they have anything to do with the Long clan. Zhao murmured to himself, unexpectedly, Suntan has disappeared, and the evil cultivator has also disappeared. Either the little guy appears, kills the evil cultivator, and takes away Suntan, or that evil cultivator takes away Suntan. Zhao said solemnly, no, it seems that I need to go to Kyoto to meet my incompetent junior brother. The Long family, the 11 family of Heavenly Man, was the most powerful force 2 eras ago. It seems that I have quite a connection with Long Xingtian. If you take the lead in making an exception to practice the yin-yang dragon divine art, then my Heavenly Man, the 11 family, will follow closely behind. Zhao murmured to himself, I have long been tired of the cultivation system. Ancient martial arts is the strength of the 11 family of Heavenly Man. Su Yang agreed, but death penalty can be avoided, living crime cannot be escaped, and punishment is indispensable. While the helicopter was flying, Su Yang had already released Su Jingguo from the Void Tower. If this is the case, then Su Yang's strength must be too terrifying. Long Xingtian, who was practicing, instantly opened his eyes and looked forward warily. However, before Long Xingtian finished speaking, Su Yang sneered and said, Long Xingtian, do you think you are still qualified to reward me with something? This world is so big that I can get whatever I want. Use you as a reward. Su Yang came to the palace city, avoided everyone's eyes and ears, and went directly to the imperial study. Su Yang got off the helicopter alone and went to the palace to look for Long Xingtian. Long Xingtian. That afternoon, Kyoto Imperial City. When he discovered that Su Yang was standing in the study, his face suddenly became nervous, and a look of fear flashed in his eyes. The royal atmosphere is not just a joke, nor does it mean that whoever you appoint as the emperor can make the country peaceful and the people safe. The Long family has been in the world for countless years and is good at it. You must not do anything treasonous. He stood up slowly, showed a smile, and said politely, Master Su, I wonder if there is anything to gain in the mountains of Yunjiang. Have you seen Long Ping Shen? After muttering to himself, Zhao suddenly turned around, and the white figure disappeared on the spot. In the imperial study room, Long Xingtian is sitting cross-legged in meditation, with two golden dragons, black and white, wrapped around him. He should be practicing the yin-yang dragon magic. Soon. See you. Could it be that Teju has been killed by him? The two siblings chatted for a long time and talked about many things. Su Yang responded in a calm tone, very briefly. When Su Jingguo heard that Su Yang was going to stay in Kyoto, she immediately reminded Su Yang solemnly. After all, Long Xingtian has been in control of the world for a long time. After a brief period of panic, he quickly calmed down. With his temperament, he naturally doesn't want to be taken advantage of without knowing it. This is not his style. Su Yang appeared quietly and stood in the imperial study, staring at Long Xingtian with a sinking face. Long Xingtian was shocked in his heart, but on the surface he smiled and said, Young Master Su has eliminated harm for the people and also solved a serious problem for me. I am very happy and congratulated. Young Master Su, I want to reward you and promise you. Teju's strength is unfathomable. Su Yang wiped out Teju and remained unscathed. It was terrifying. It was really terrifying. Killed. At this moment, he was worried that his sister would be inconvenienced if she went with him, so he said that he would not embarrass Long Xingtian and would come back as soon as he left. Very good. Su Jingguo then agreed. Didn't Su Yang go to Yunjiang Mountain to find Teju? Why did he come back so soon? Brother, there must be a misunderstanding. The emperor is not the kind of person you think. You must not touch him, otherwise the world will be in chaos.